So yesterday we reviewed numerical expressions and how to write them. Today we are going to actually be evaluating numerical expressions. Now a quick reminder, if I can scroll down here, a numerical expression is a mathematical phrase that uses only numbers and operation symbols. There are no equal signs in a numerical expression. So quick reminder on what a numerical expression is. Now I want you to, before we start evaluating numerical expressions, I want you to think about this. Evaluating a numerical expression means that you are finding the value of that expression. So you are not just writing the expression down, you are also going to find the value of that expression. So we're actually going to be solving the problems today. But we have to remember how to do that correctly, because I want you to look quickly at this numerical expression. 10 minus 2 times 3. Now, we could have two different answers here if we think about it. So how do I know which answer is going to be correct? I could get the answer 4, or I could get the answer 24. If you look here, I could first take the step of saying 10 minus 2, which would equal 8. Then I'll take that number 8 and I would multiply it by 3 to get the answer 24. So is that going to be my correct answer? Or is it correct to say 2 times 3, do the 2 times 3 first, which equals 6, and then subtract that 6 from 10? So which way is correct? How do I know which way is correct? Well, that is where order of operations comes in. So in order to correctly evaluate numerical expressions such as 10 minus 2 times 3, you must use order of operations. It's very important, and I know you've probably heard about it before, but let's just review what the order of operations are. So it'd be very important. I want you to pause your video, and I would like for you to write down in your journal this little chart right here, because I want you to have the order of operations right next to you so that you can use them for the rest of the video. Alright, so hopefully you paused the video and you wrote down the order of operations into your math journal. So let's look through these really quickly, and then we're going to apply them using some word problems. So first of all, if I have a numerical expression in front of me, the first thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for parentheses, because my first step in order of operation is to perform operations in parentheses. My next step is to multiply and divide from left to right. So you're going to look for any multiplication or division, and you're going to complete those operations from left to right. And last but not least, you're going to add and subtract from left to right. So the last thing that you would do is complete any addition or subtraction. All right, so let's apply this using a word problem. All right, everybody knows how much I love cake. So a cake recipe calls for 4 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar. To triple the recipe, how many cups of flour and sugar are needed in all? So remember, first of all, I'm going to be looking for my important numbers. I know that I have 4 cups of flour and I have 2 cups of sugar. That's what is in my cake recipe, but I want to triple the recipe. So if I'm going to triple the recipe, that means I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to multiply them times 3. So first of all, I have to write down my numerical expression. So I'm going to write it like this. 3 times 4, because I'm going to multiply the cups of flour, but I'm going to triple that. Now I'm going to add 2 times 3. So I'm going to multiply my 2 cups of sugar by 3 to triple it. All right, so According to my order of operations, I'm supposed to first perform the operations in parentheses. Well, if you look at this numeric expression, there are no parentheses, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to skip to step 2. My step 2 is to multiply and divide from left to right. So I'm going to look through my numeric expression here, and I'm going to look for any multiplication or division. Well, you see multiplication right here and multiplication right here. Now, when I say from left to right, that means you're going to start at the beginning here and you're going to go across. So my first multiplication that I'm going to do is 3 times 4, which is 12. Then I'm going to leave my other operation sign in here, and I'm going to add, but I'm going to complete my next multiplication problem, which is 2 times 3, which equals 6. So I have done my multiplication and division from left to right. Well, in this case, it was just multiplication. Now I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. Now I only see one addition problem here, so I just have to complete this one. So I know 12 plus 6 is 18. So 18 is the value of this numeric expression. So that's the answer of how many cups of flour and sugar are needed in all. 18. All right, well, let's look at it really quickly. What if you have parentheses in the problem? So we're going to evaluate expressions with parentheses. So let's look through this, this problem right now. Each batch of cupcakes that Mrs. Clemens makes uses 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, and 2 cups of sugar. Mrs. Clemens wants to make 5 batches of cupcakes. How many cups of flour, milk, and sugar will she need in all? Now, if I look at, remember my clue words, I'm going to look at that in all, and I know that I'm going to be adding together the cups of flour, milk, and sugar. So my first step is to write my expression. So if I write my expression, I'm going to be adding together all of the ingredients. So that would be 3 plus 1 plus 2. Okay? So I'm going to add those all together, but now my next step is to multiply that times 5 because I'm going to need all those ingredients 5 times over for my 5 batches of cupcakes. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 3 plus 1 plus 2. All right, so my next step after this is then to perform the operations in parentheses, because remember, my first order of operation is always complete the operations in the parentheses. So that means I'm going to be doing my addition first. So in this case, 3 plus 1 plus 2 is going to be 6. So that's what I know my answer is. Now I have to do my last step, which is multiply. So I still have my 5 times 6. So I'm going to be completing my last operation, multiply. 5 times 6 equals 30. And I found my answer. All right, so last but not least, so you know how to evaluate numeric expressions using order of operations, but I also need you to understand how to rewrite an expression with parentheses to equal the given value. So say I have the value of 4. Now, if I have the value of 4 and I look at this problem right now, I would see that it's actually going to be, the answer is not 4 because I'm going to go from left to right because I don't see any parentheses. So I'm going to do 2 times 6, which is 12, divided by 2, which equals 6. And then I'm going to add 1, which equals 7. So my answer is 7, but they want me to find the value of 4. So all I have to do to be able to find the value 4 is I have to put 2 times 6 in parentheses and 2 plus 1 in parentheses. And if I do that, then it's going to be 2 times 6, which is 12, divided by the 2 plus 1, which is 3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And that's how I find the correct value, by adding parentheses. All right, so now it is time for you to practice on your own. So I have 3 questions here that I want you to complete in your math journal. So pause the video and complete these 3 problems in your math journal.